And it's Ken Kraetzer for Sons of the American Legion Radio. We have a special interview opportunity today, and that is with Congressman Doug Lamborn, who is from the 5th District in Colorado, covers Colorado Springs, and very much like many in the Sons of the American Legion, his father was a World War II veteran. Congressman, good to say hello to you today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Ken. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Good to talk with you today. Tell us a little bit about your background. You come from Kansas. Your father was a World War II veteran, just like my dad was in the U.S. Army. Tell us a little bit about your background, and then going into public service in Colorado.
Yeah, well, like you referred to, Ken, my father was a World War II veteran until he passed away a few years ago in his early 90s. But he was with, I believe it was the 86th Fighter Group, and he was an armorer, technical sergeant, and armorer. So he loaded the bullets and the bombs on the dive bombers. And he was in campaigns in North Africa, Sicily, and Italy, 11 different campaigns. So he did that during the war. He wanted to go into the pilot program, but I don't know if it was his teeth or something. He physically did not qualify. And at the beginning of the war, they had such a mortality rate. I don't know if I'd be here today if he had qualified, because he may not have survived. But I have 5 children, Ken, and my oldest is an Army veteran. He went into the Army 1 week out of high school and served in support of the 82nd Airborne Group in Fort Bragg. And he was in the Signal Corps. So I'm proud of him as well.
Well, great to hear about your son serving in the U.S. Army. Now, you have provided us a terrific service. We've had a project in the Sons of the American Legion for quite a number of years to update Chaplains Hill, which is in Section 2 of Arlington National Cemetery. In 2011, we were able to donate the Jewish Chaplains Monument, but we wanted to update the monument with the names on the Protestant monument, 25 names that deserve to be there from Korea, Vietnam, Cold War, Iraq, and Afghanistan. And add also a name to the Catholic Chaplains Monument. And you're helping us by introducing legislation in Congress, H.R. 4365, Chaplains Memorial Preservation Act. Tell us a little bit about that, if you would.
Well, what the bill does is it allows the National Conference on Ministry to the Armed Forces to update the memorials that you have just referred to, Protestant, Catholic, and Jewish, in Arlington National Cemetery, which, of course, is an iconic place in our nation's history when we remember those who have fallen in service. And of course, chaplains are an integral part of the service that our country, those give to our country. They give the spiritual direction and guidance and assistance for those who are in need. And right now, there's not enough space for every chaplain who's been killed in combat. So it's important to have these memorials to remember those. And by doing this update, those whose names are not currently listed on the memorials can be listed, and the monuments brought up to date, including Captain Dale Goetz, who we'll talk about in just a minute.
And co-sponsoring that bill with you, Representative Vicki Hartzler of Missouri, and also Congressman Bill Keating of Massachusetts. What does it take just to get a bill introduced in Congress? We know it's an effort and a process. Tell us a little bit about that.
This is a bipartisan bill, both Democrats and Republicans, and we are all on the same page when it comes to remembering those who serve our country. And so that was easy to find people to help me in this legislation.
Absolutely. Now, one of the chaplains that we seek to add to the Protestant Chaplains Monument at Chaplains Hill is Army Captain Dale Goetz, who at age 43 was killed in service to our country in Afghanistan in 2010, a Baptist chaplain who was serving with the 4th Infantry Division of Fort Carson. You're going to name a post office for him. Tell us about that.
That's right. Well, it's a fitting memorial to his memory. As you know, Ken, he is the only chaplain who has died in active combat since Vietnam. And He was a brave man, but he was also a man of deep and strong faith and was much beloved by those that he served with. He was an Air Force and a veteran and an Army chaplain. And he served 3 deployments, and he was, since 2004 until his life was taken, he served in Japan, Iraq, and Afghanistan. So, and it was in his 3rd deployment that he lost his life with an IED when they were out on patrol. It's just really fitting that we remember someone who gave his life. His whole service was giving his life to helping others in the spiritual dimension, where being in combat really brings a lot of things and establishes priorities in life. What's important, what's not important. And for those who don't have a strong spiritual grounding, or even those who do, it's important that they have those nearby that they can talk to and open their hearts up to. And that's what a chaplain is for. And that's why it's so important to memorialize and remember the legacy of a chaplain who made the ultimate sacrifice for his fellow soldiers and for his country.
And that's going to be a post office in Colorado Springs, I understand, in Briargate. Tell us about the post office there. Yeah,
it's a major post office, one of the most major ones in Colorado Springs, at 8585 Criterion Drive. And we're going to have a ceremony to establish this on July 23rd, Friday, July 23rd. The public is invited, and those who are especially in the chaplaincy corps are invited. We're going to have some people from all over the country, I understand, coming to this. And of course, a lot of people represented locally. And the post office is being very accommodating, very helpful. They're totally on board. And so one of the people speaking is a chaplain who knew him personally and was actually with him the day before he died.
Well, we're looking forward to covering that. I understand the chairman of the National Conference on Ministry of the Armed Forces, Bishop Derek Jones, is planning to attend. So that will be a very special day. How can the public, members of our organization, American Legion, other veterans organizations, support your legislation? We understand that we can ask other members of Congress to co-sponsor the legislation.
Yeah, that would be a great thing to do. And we don't have our Senate sponsorship set up yet. We're going to be working on that. But yeah, if people could let their senators and their representatives know that this is a good piece of legislation and would they please support it, that would be very helpful.
And Congressman Doug Lamborn from the 5th District in Colorado. My sister lives in Colorado Springs, a beautiful part of the country. And as you say on your website, over 100,000 veterans in your district. Perhaps a final thought about all the veterans in your area.
Well, it's an honor to serve those who have served our country. And I served on the Veterans Affairs Committee for 10 years, and I've been on the House Armed Services Committee now for 14 years. And it's my way of serving. And I want to make sure that those who are in our armed services have the best training and equipment that the world has to offer. And we're being successful at that, but it's a constant challenge because we have some near-peer adversaries who want to exert their dominance where possible in the world and sometimes create trouble in the world. So we have to constantly be vigilant, and we will continue to do that. But having all these veterans here and around, I believe, 40,000 active duty folks as well, and then their spouses and children and dependents, it's a very great thing that I get to do in Congress that reflects the values and the priorities of the 5th Congressional District of Colorado.
Well, Congressman Doug Lamborn, thank you so much for your sponsorship of this very important legislation, HR 4365, the Chaplains Memorial Preservation Act, which will enable us, when approved, to honor 26 chaplains who have died in service on Chaplains Hill at Arlington National Cemetery. A pleasure to talk with you today, sir.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you. And this is Ken Kraetzer for Sons of the American Legion. We're part of Post 135 in White Plains, New York. Thank you for watching.